Hey everybody. So last year I became a father and I wanted to teach my son everything I know about business, investing, work, compound interest, dividends, timing the market or lack of timing the market in my case. I'm an analyst by trade and I usually fall into the analysis paralysis, which is not good for investing or business or anything else. So I realized that after doing tons of research and everything, I just need to trust myself and just jump in instead of analyzing everything to death. So instead of analyzing stocks and companies and doing all that, I just decided to buy the S&P. Not literally the entire S&P, but I bought an ETF that purchases high dividends companies within the S&P. It's called SPHD, as you can see on my screen. And the reason I like it is for a couple of reasons. The first reason is, as opposed to just having one stock and the company going bankrupt and you losing everything, which doesn't happen often, but it could happen. You kind of spread it out across several companies, and these aren't just any companies. These are the ones that have, obviously proven themselves enough to make it on the S&P. And the second reason I like it is because they pay monthly dividends. So the idea would be to live off of the monthly income one day, as opposed to quarterly or yearly dividends. I kind of like the monthly dividends, so I thought that was kind of cool. So I've always been fascinated by those charts where they show someone who started investing at 25 and then stopped at 35 versus someone who started at 35 and never stopped until 65. And then at the end of the period when they're both 65 years old, the person who started at 25 and stopped at 35, they end up having way more money. And I thought this was kind of a cool little chart I wanted to share where it shows like 4 different examples. Noah, who saves cash, $10,000 every year from 25 to 65, which would be 40 years. So that's 400,000 cash that they would have saved, but they're giving them 2.25% interest. So I'm assuming they're putting it in a CD and just kind of keeping up with inflation. They will have $652,214 after they turn 65. Lila invests from 35 to 65, and she's going to be doing the same thing, $10,000 a year. So that would be $300,000 total at the end of when she turns 65. That's how much she would have invested at 6.5% interest, which is pretty modest returns. You can see that she'll have $919,892. And then Quincy, who invests from 25 to 35, so he only invests $100,000, but he does it way early in his lifetime. He will actually have more than Lila, who started investing at 35 and invested $300,000 total. He'll have $950,588, which is amazing if you ever go through hard times and you got to stop investing or something, happens in your life. It's just getting started, which is usually my problem. So my son was born December 2020, and I wanted to start investing $1,000 every month starting in January 2021. So when he's 1 year old, I should have $12,000 invested into SPHD, and at the end of 18 years, it should be $216,000 invested. Hopefully it'll be much more than that, but that's how much I would have personally invested into SPHD. The dividends are something I have to do manually each month, because you'll see why shortly. Some months it's a lot, like the first month it's almost nothing, and so it's not enough to even buy one share or even partial shares, which sometimes they do. I can show you my Roth IRA, but this one is a bridge account. And the reason I have a bridge account is because I plan to retire before 59 and a half. So I need something to kind of get me from when I do retire until I'm 59 and a half and can touch my other, like Roth IRA, 403B and stuff like that. So in the meantime, I'm investing in this bridge account, which is taxable. And I will have to pay taxes on these dividends, but hopefully for the first couple of years, it's not that much, and I can just pay it without having to dip into the dividends. If anything changes, I'll let you know, but the goal is to hopefully not have to withdraw any money and just show what compound interest can do, because in theory, this should be in a retirement account. I'm just doing it in a bridge account for, because I plan to retire before 59 and a half. So let's get started. Let's see. So as you can see, I started buying January 20th. And the reason it took me so long is because, the baby was born and had to save up, the $1,000 to invest. And then each month after, I just, you could tell it's usually right after I get paid. So bought 25 shares the first month, 26 the second month, 23rd the third month, and it starts to just go down because every month the stock becomes more and more expensive. As you can see, I was almost buying it like the worst time each month, like right before the dividend would happen, the stock price would go up, and then after the dividend was paid, people start selling because they're like, I don't want to wait, or for whatever reason they want to just get their dividend and then they sell afterwards. So it kind of stinks because I got my tax refund and I had money finally in June, and I was like, oh, the stock keeps dropping, I want to buy, but I was like, no, I got to wait till at least the first. So then I bought on the first, and then as you can see, the stock's gone down since then. Which isn't a big deal because overall we're up 3.52% today. So I've invested $7,000 and I'm currently at $7,309.59. But the exciting part, at least to me, is the dividends. So you can see we only have 5 dividends, and that's because the first month I invested in January, you don't get the dividend until, the next month. So you invested January 20th. I must have missed the cutoff to get the dividend for January. And you can see here it's kind of slowly progressing from $7, $10, $12, $13. And then last month was kind of exciting. It's $17, almost halfway to being able to buy 1 share each month. I don't think I'll be there until next year, January 2022, but it's just kind of exciting to see it grow. And this is monthly, so it's, it's not much, but it's nothing to laugh at either, $17 a month. So yeah, what I do with these dividends is like the $7 and the $10 and the $12, whatever. Whenever I get it, it just goes here and it goes to the cash balance, which you can see I got $6.69. So next month in August, when I transfer $1,000 into the account, and then I take that $1,000 plus the $6.69, depending on how much the stock is, we'll see how many shares I can buy. And then whatever's left over, I just plus the dividend, it just keeps, going. And then eventually it evens out to where I'll buy an extra share. I think there was a month there, let me check real quick, where I was able to buy more. Let's see, 23. Yeah, so you can see in March, I bought 23 shares. And then in April, I bought 24 shares, even though the stock price went up. The reason is because of the dividends and the leftover money. Like from the first month, I had $30 left over. The third month, I had $20 left over, plus the dividends. And so I was able to buy an extra share in April. But we'll see what happens next month. I don't think I'll have an extra, depending on the stock price, to buy an extra share, but we'll see. All right, well, thank you, everybody. That's all I had for today. And if you want to see me post monthly how much I've made and, kind of hold me accountable, just go ahead and like. Don't forget to subscribe.